Hi everyone, welcome back to this week weekly market update. As usual, let's take a look what happened on last week, last Friday, and also things to take note for next coming week, and see to review certain of the counters that we have actually mentioned last week. How does it performs in this week times? All right, let's take a look. So today will be quite a short one. Have been sharing quite a couple of long video last 2 weeks, so go for a short week today. Basically, it still depends on what is the content to share and what is the content available to share as well. So we can see that on last Friday, right? Down actually, as you can see that last Friday is actually the earnings report from the bank sector, right? So most of the bank like JP Morgan's have released their quarterly earnings report, which is a very fantastic reports. That is why caused JP Morgan's to gap up on Friday itself. All right. So down, but however, in the whole market itself, right? On the Friday itself, it's a red day, but overall in the weekly basis is still on the green side. Okay, so let's dip slightly a bit deeper what is happening, causing the market to end up closing in the red itself with a good earnings report. Basically, I think few things to watch out on some of the comments here. We can see that Friday itself not just only on the JP Morgan's releasing good result, but there's also advanced retail. Retail sales came in weaker than expected. Okay, and also but a lot of things, right? We must take note. Even though the retail sales came weaker, as mentioned by these guys, Chris, he said that a lot of the miss had to do with the lowest gas price, which all things being equal is slight positive for spending. All right, actually, these things don't seem good news because, as we know, we are right now facing a high inflation rate and interest rate is going higher and higher, right? So, why I say everything has to do with a low gas prices, because inflation has been coming down as gas price has been coming down. Okay, inflation has been coming down as gas price has been coming down, but then the reverses is instant, and it will drive the headline numbers higher again. So meaning, as you can see from net gas, right? If you go and see the chart, we can see that net gas is actually at all-time low price, around $2 right now. So if there's any reversal, which most likely even a dead cat jump or whatever, right? Uh, Inflation will then back to normal again. And then what's the point of having a higher interest rate? Correct or not? So that is why, right, the disappointing retail sales actually offset the excitement on what JP Morgan announced on Friday, which is actually their revenue beats the analyst expectations. Okay, not only on that, I think Wells Fargo also have a good earnings report. A couple of them, but unfortunately for United Health, actually fell 2.7% is because uh, the modest beat and the raise. Uh, I mean, it's all about news, lah, right? So it's all about news, and Boeing also closed lower because they actually won on their delayed delivery for 737 MAX planes. So that is what happened on last Friday, as we know that when during earnings report, many things could happen. If let's say you're stop picking, just be cautious what you're picking and what is the news you're going to announce. If you want to be safer, you may always want to stay aside. All right, so this is what happened on last Friday and last week itself. Let's take a look for this coming week. Few things to watch out. So this week, I've already mentioned, even with UNH announced good result, but then the shares drop. As you can see just now I explained. So what is happening? Most of the bank is actually reporting good earnings instead. So coming week we will be looking at a few counter as well, especially like BAC, Goldman Sachs. As you can see what is happening on JP Morgan. So I think most likely they will be at the good side as well. because it's a sector red running. So this is how we actually see it. Next day is actually J and J, which I mentioned last week. Again, we closed and took the profit. I think the market has been hovering sideways for the last 5 days, just to wait for the earnings as well. Limelight, I guess, is mainly on Tesla. Everyone is looking at it. I'm more biased on the downside based on the chart itself. So if let's say any delivery, any reports, or anything that sound a bit dovish, it may cause the market to go at the downside. So if let's say you're holding on any Tesla shares, just be cautious as well. Okay, so let's take a look into the chart itself. For the chart wise, we dive into the index. So this is the index. So this is what I mentioned, no change as well for 1st of April. So as you can see from what I read up last week, Dow Jones, I'm biased on the upside if clear 33,600. Clearly enough to say where the market clear. I think I post something in the Telegram as well if you have been following. I think due to the CPI news, due to what the Fed meetings talking about, there's huge volatility. If you make some profit over here, which I did, congratulations. If you're not that short term, look at the longer picture. Since 1st of April, which I mentioned, we have actually been slowly ticking up, right? Since 32,300 right now. Where is it? It closed at 33,800 last Friday. Highest we reached is 34,000. Okay, so this actually in part with what I'm looking at resisted. 34,000 was one of it. So when it hit 34,000, right, we can see, let's zoom in on the 4-hour or hourly chart. We can see much more data over here. So where the market actually zoom into the 34,000, right? Okay, as you can see, it actually touches, then it came down itself. Okay, 33,500 also couple of few resistance touches, come down, touches, come down. All right, so okay, take a look. Okay, this is 33,600. When I say, all right, if it cleared above, okay, if it, let's review again. If it cleared 33,600 successfully, and then we may see on the upside. So it actually went up, touch again. All right, support, resistance, turn support, go up. The 34,000 resistance came down, and then this is where are we right now. So for the coming week, where am I be looking at? Earnings really play a part. It may cause the market to fluctuate crazily enough, or otherwise I will just remain my view at 34,300, which is the next resistance level. Okay, this is what I'm looking at. Okay, so the immediate support used to be the 33,800. I mean the 33,500 will be the first resistance support level. Here will be the first resistance level I'm looking at. Breaking 34,000 successfully, we'll then see next level. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at for Dow itself. I think there will be another leg of minor bullish before we see some movement from there itself. And not to forget, on last week itself, Fed actually mentions they may continue on their rate hike, and they're saying that the SVB, the bank, is actually no issue at the moment. So as you can see from last Friday, good earnings report. I don't see any issue with that. SVP is just a one solo case itself. Alright, so to my view perspective, I am looking more on the upside. Looking at 34, whether can clear 34,000 before we look at 34.3, and then we must see some reversal from here. But that is depending on what is the candlestick is going to tell us day by day basis. Alright, so that's all for my view for Dow Jones. Same goes to Nasdaq as well. I think Nasdaq, I did mention previously, as you can see, one big arrow here, so we are more on the upside since April. Alright, so it's slowly hovering to clear the first 38.2% Fibonacci resistance. We are eyeing at 36. Alright, 13,600, the next level. Okay, take note, after the bank's earnings report, after next week Tesla, we will be facing a technology and earnings report as well. So it will cause kind of huge volatility for Nasdaq itself. Okay, so bias on the upside. Alright, so just write down. Sometimes I didn't write, and then when I want to review back, it's a bit tough. So bias on upside depends on that earnings report 2 weeks later. Okay, so this is what we are looking at. Okay, so then let's move on. So let's go back to Tesla. Okay, Tesla is what we are looking at. So we can see that the earnings is coming announcing on Wednesday, 19 April. We can see the market has been hovering sideways. But like I mentioned, break below 180, we may welcome more bearish on it. Okay, so it's depend whether how they sing on the earnings itself. They may come out something good, but the market decline it, and then it may drop from here. So that's why I say this is the range that we are looking to short. Alright, so if you have entered, respect your stop loss, respect the TA, or otherwise if you haven't and there is any bounce back, I will welcome you guys to join the bot to short it. Alright, so this is, just pure on TA play. Ultimately, we still depend on what is seen on Wednesday itself. Okay, so anyone actually entered into this which I missed out? To be frank, GFAI. Yes, what is this counter? I think it's related to AI as well. So I mentioned, right, as you can see, it's a gambling it's a gambling just based on purely on TA betting, which I actually mentioned, which I write out as well. Super risky move. Okay, weak heart, stay aside. But if you're risk reverse, what happened is that on Wednesday itself the market shoot up. This percentage, this green bar is 88% upside. It's almost one fold if you enter it on Monday itself. Of course, the market did pull back, but my TA, we only see 23. It break on the third day itself, and it go even higher. Okay, so this call is already done. If you didn't enter, if you try to catch by this week, then good luck to you. Otherwise, we have done on this selected counter. Okay, I miss it, that's why there's no sticker to show you guys. So sad to say. Okay, next counter we will be looking at on BTC USD. Let's review the Bitcoin. As I said on Wednesday itself. Uh, remember I wrote Bitcoin that we have been looking at resistance 30,000 on since the March itself. So this is the upside arrow. Let's go to the day chart. Okay, we have been looking somewhere here. Right, so this is the March. Since March I already said 30,000. It's already touched 30,000. So where are we looking at? This seconds, let me delay. Okay, at hitting 30,000 one round figure, it should be a good price level for you to take a profit. But people who want to go for bonus, I would suggest that we are looking at the next. This is a bonus play, guys. This is the bonus play. So if you haven't taken at 30,000, you want some additional bonus, we will be looking at 33,600. Alright, we will be looking at 33,600. You may see that I might be drawing is due to the moving average around this 100 days as a resistance, or otherwise I'm using some patterns to show you guys why it will be reaching here 33,600. If you're on the video, hopefully you learn. I'm using this thing called the flag movement. This is purely a technical play, flag movement. So what it means is that if we are looking at here, is the start of the pole, here is the flag, or you can see the Pantheon or whatever, then we should actually mirror image of this whole thing to here. Correct? After breakout. So it should go 36,000 or way higher, but this depends on how far is the pole you draw. To me, up to individual, I don't feel that good to draw the whole stretch. That's why I draw somewhere after the breakout, and I just rely it back to the mirror image, and that is what I'm looking at. So 33,000 to 33,006 will be the maximum leg I'm looking at to take all my profit, or if let's say I have partial at 30,000, the remaining will be 33,600. Alright, so that is my view. Okay, so once again, pardon me, let me write out. So next bonus TP level 33,003 to 33,006 max. Okay, this is based on TA pattern flat movement mirror image target. Okay, so this is what we are be looking at, and then we will set display and then we will go for it. Okay, so that's all for Bitcoin. Let's go to the next counter. Today we will be looking into C3. All right, this is a very interesting counter. I'll be talking about it. Okay, so grandmother story once again, but pardon me as well. So we actually started since February. We mentioned it. We pick this stock. I mean, we choose this stock as a long term, slightly play out. That's why we can do DCA if we want our target. Entry price is 22, 20, 18, 15. If the price has been hovering between 22 to 20, which only touches one time. This is on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, we can see that it looked bearish enough. But if you know what's happening or you have been following me closely, this is all the reason. The bias is because of this capital who actually announced a short report again and caused the price to came down. So this is what happened. Alright, they shorted somewhere here, caused the price to go up, which up. The capital actually announced they want to flag to SEC, saying that there's flaw in their calculations that caused the market to go down and down way below where they entered on their short side. Basically, maybe just to save their, their positions. But even with the short sell report came out, the price has been hovering and it seems like well supported above 20. Alright, so for my take right now, we can see earnings is actually on the 1st of June. Alright, to have more finalized whether the earnings report have issue or can they reuse the earnings report, everything have to play and drag until 1st of June at this point of time. So we may see the price start hovering around here until this earning, then we may have a decision whether it will go up or down. Alright, so where is my take? So for my take, stick to the same view. My bias is still on the upside as well. I'm looking at the target of the IPO price, which is the 42 previously. So I will stick to my bias on C3 unless there's a huge news announcement changes. Otherwise, I think it's a good price to nimble in on the AI industry or AI sector. This is the reason. That is why this week we will be looking at Big Bear AI. This is one of the competitor. As you can see, Big Bear AI, I think they announced they are going to announce new shares release to sell, and that is what causes the market to actually spike up. People take it as a good news. So we are all the same AI industry. How come C3 didn't work out? It's because of that report. Someone short sell it. So it takes time for it to play out. So people who are in C3 at the moment don't feel disappointed. The bright side will come eventually. Alright, so that's my take personally. If you don't believe it, can just stay aside. Lastly, for this week, there will be one counter I'm going to share. Let me see. Will be a Walmart. Okay, so Walmart. Okay, so Walmart. This is a very interesting counter. We right now register. This is what time last time I shared. Let me just delete again. Okay, up arrow, good up arrow. Alright, so Walmart, interesting on the weekly chart, we almost at the resistance on 150. 192. Okay, so 152, we almost hit the resistance level. So this is actually clearly a range bound trading. Alright, a range bound trading, we can see resistance, support break, false break, come down, false break, go up, resistance. Alright, so this is clearly a false break. Previously, right now, at current week, we are still at the resistance level itself. Okay, so take note, if you want to short this kind of big counter like Walmart defensive counter during this kind of environment, right? Please manage your risk wisely enough. Otherwise, it's a good take. We just purely based on TA. It's a good time to enter some short positions. All right, at this point of time, so we are more on the buyer side, on the downside. Okay, so I am just going to write something here as well. Okay, buyers on downside, sideways channel play out. Okay, as you can see, based on TA, based on TA right out. Okay, so you can put this in the watch list if you want. You can actually nimble a bit. Otherwise, stay aside if you feel comfortable to short this kind of blue chip stock as well. Okay, so that's all for this week weekly market update. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Hopefully there's some takeaway for you guys to every time listen to my video as well. Thank you once again. Enjoy your weekend. Goodbye.